everyone. Welcome back to Moving the Chains with Ashmere here on Nuts and Bolts Sports. Today we have another fun week to talk about. We're going to talk about all the games from this weekend and, just our 5 favorite topics, because I think this week was filled with so many exciting games, especially last night, like 89-point game. Super crazy. So, of course, we've got Joe Cardozo here hosting, chatting, whatever you want to call it with me.
What's up?
We've also got Ryan, our new addition for the week, to talk about, of course, his favorite team with Joe, but we'll let them get into that later once it's time. And the returning champ of Nuts and Bolts right now, Keith. Welcome back.
Me again. I'm sorry.
No, we love you. Keith and I are sharing all the airtime lately. Okay, so this week, I think we should kick it off with your guys' team, Joe and Ryan. Let's start with the Washington football team. What a great game. Now they're leading the division. How are you guys feeling?
I feel good. I mean, it's been a long time. I can't complain at all. It's been a long time since we've been in first place. I think it starts, and I'm sure Ryan will agree with me. It starts and ends with our defense, and they put the team in position to have a chance to win pretty much every game we've had this season. It's just on the offense to make some plays and get some points on the board. I mean, obviously, we saw Alex Smith go out with a calf injury, and Dwayne Haskins came in, and Haskins was not that impressive. I'll kind of pass it to Ryan on that note. I know you have some strong feelings on Haskins.
Yeah, I'd say that's what I was worried about. They said so far Smith is expected to play, which I think they need him. I think they beat Seattle Sunday. I think they'll kind of solidify their spot. Winning the division. But the thing with them, they're going to have to get the pressure on Russell Wilson. You saw what the Giants did on Russell Wilson, and they got to him, shut the offense down for the most part. And the offense, Washington's offense, they can't turn the ball over. And, Haskins plays, that's where my concern comes in, because I don't trust him with the football. Alex Smith doesn't wow you, but he won't win you games, but he also won't lose you games. So that's why he's kind of important when you have a defense like Washington's, the heartbeat of the team. So.
Yeah, I agree. When Haskins came on the field, I was nervous, right? It was similar to like when Jackson came on the field, left the field last night. I was like, wait, are they going to lose now? Because this is not looking right. And I mean, I think the Washington football team has a great defense. Chase Young's an amazing player. And I think they could beat Seattle this week just based off of the defensive action. So that's good. But let's talk about the teams that we think are going to – some wild card teams that have a chance to make a push in the playoffs. So, Keith, who are your top teams for that?
So I think the Browns are going to get in. I think the Colts will get in. Or no, wait, I don't think the Colts are going to get in. I think it's going to be the Browns, the Dolphins, and the Ravens, actually. Problem for the Colts is that even though they have played better throughout the season, I think they finished with the same record as the Ravens, and the Ravens hold the head-to-head victory over the Colts. So by virtue of that, they're gone. So out of those 3 teams, I think the team that really has a chance to surprise people will be the Browns. I mean, we sang their praises a lot last week. I would say they have the defense to make them go far, but I don't know, after that game Monday, that defense didn't look very good. But they have a running game, and a lot of teams in the NFL don't have a strong running game. And if there's one way to win on the road in the playoffs and possibly bad weather, it happens to be to have a good running game, and that's what the Browns have. You can say the same thing about the Ravens as well. As now, the last 2 games, their run game has been really good. But I think the Browns defense is a little better than the Ravens defense. So if there's a team that I think could win at least one game, I would say the Browns.
Okay. What about you, Ryan?
I got to disagree with Keith. I think the Colts may get in. I mean, if you look at – I think the Dolphins are the one team that could not make it in, because they have the Patriots and Bills, which Bills I think is going to be hard. And the Patriots, they're a weird team. They got blown out by the Rams, but, they played and beat who was it? Trying to think who was. Oh, Cardinals. That's who it was. They come in and beat the Cardinals. So, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You never know when they're going to play well. And, Dolphins, history tells you that they'll struggle against New England. But I think they could be on the outs. I think the Colts, if they get in, a lot of people are sleeping on them. Phillip Rivers was one name a lot of people were questioning when the Colts signed because he didn't have a great season last year with the Chargers. But in my opinion, you put an old man behind a really bad offensive line, you're not going to get a whole lot of production out of him. But, the Colts have a great offensive line. He's done really well this year. Jonathan Taylor, the past, I think, like 4 weeks, he's been really well. T.Y. Hilton has 4 touchdowns in the past 2 games. So he's getting things going, and they also have a really good defense. So I think that they could potentially win a game. I don't think, they're going to go any further than the divisional round, but I do think they could win a playoff game.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that you brought up the Colts because I think the performance against the Raiders was just poor. And like you said, if you have a strong offensive line, Phillip Rivers can do amazing things, and he had done so this week. But anyways, all right, Joe, let's wrap it up with you.
Well, I think if anybody's going to do anything, what we saw last night from Baltimore, if you're a Ravens fan, you got to be excited. I mean, that was the 2019 Baltimore Ravens, right? Running the ball, pass it when you have to. When Lamar Jackson was forced to make plays, throwing the ball, he made those plays. I mean, Hollywood Brown, a couple of drops, but he caught it when it mattered. They were able to find their tight end when it mattered. So I think if you're a Baltimore fan, that win on Monday night in Cleveland might be what they needed to kind of light that fire. And like Ryan said, I don't see the Dolphins making the playoffs. Those games against the Bills and the Patriots are really tough. I mean, it would be awesome for them to make the playoffs. It's been a long time for that franchise, but I definitely can see the Cleveland Browns the Baltimore Ravens, making the playoffs and making a run. I mean, Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, you have the rookie out of Ohio State, Dobbins. I saw what I needed to see from Baltimore yesterday. The question is, can they duplicate that for the rest of the season?
Yeah, 100% agree. I think the offensive performance was stellar. Those scramble passes that Lamar Jackson was able to pull off, like that Hollywood Brown touchdown, just a lot of that. This week was filled with a lot of different, miraculous throws and weird missed kicks. Like the Browns could have won last night if they didn't miss that field goal and the extra point. They would have been ahead, so the pressure wouldn't have been so close. But because that happened, that's unfortunate. But I was rooting for the Ravens anyways, even though I know Raider fans are technically rooting for the Browns so that they could get into contention. But I don't really think the Raiders should steal a spot from somebody else that deserves it, just like the 3 teams you guys have talked about. So
I will say just one more thing about the Colts. I don't think the Colts are bad. It really is a matter of the situation they're in. The Dolphins hold the tiebreak over the Ravens. So if they win out, which I think they will, because I think they are going to beat New England, they hold the tiebreak over the Ravens and will have – I think they have a better conference record than the Ravens do. The issue with the Colts is they lost games that they should have won. They lost the head-to-head to the Ravens. I think they're going to go 2-1 to end the season, but that gives them the same conference record as the Ravens do.
Yeah, that Ravens won Jacksonville. I said they lost to Gardner Minshew. That could come back to home.
Yeah, and you look at the Ravens' schedule. If they lose, then they don't deserve to be in. They have the Giants, Jaguars, and Bengals left. So I expect they'll win all 3 of those games. I mean, you never know any given Sunday.
True.
The schedule is not in favor of the Colts.
Yeah, but like you just said, every Sunday, Monday can be an extremely crazy turn of events, which let's lead right into it. The Philadelphia Eagles dominating that Saints defense that Keith and I were hyping up so much last week. We were on the Saints train 2 times apart. I won no huddle saying the same thing about Jalen Hurts. So, Joe, talk about your entire ideas when you saw that game.
Well, I think if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you finally got a playmaker under center. I mean, Jalen Hurts, was he spectacular? No, but he did what he needed to do to win the game. I think that he made that offense a lot better as far as getting rid of the ball fast. Carson Wentz this season and for the last couple of seasons just holds on to the ball way too long. Once Jalen Hurts made his mind up, he planted his foot in the ground and got the ball out. Obviously, we knew from his time in Oklahoma and his time in Alabama, he can scramble and make some plays with his feet. He did that as well. That fumble late in the game kind of made me worried. I thought maybe the Saints were making a comeback, but the Eagles defense did something they haven't done all season, which is step up, make big plays. And I think now the question for the Eagles has to be, what are we going to do? Are we going to go with Jalen Hurts moving forward? Are we just going to end the season with him and then kind of reevaluate Carson Wentz in the offseason? So a lot of questions in Philadelphia. I think that this game coming up right now for Jalen Hurts, if he duplicates his performance, the noise is going to get louder and louder with Philadelphia, what they're going to do with Carson Wentz, who's been owed a lot of money.
Okay, I'm going to ask Ryan this just because he is in the same division as the team that he likes. So do you think the Eagles could win the division based off of the remaining schedule and how they played with Jalen Hurts this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. You look week 17, Washington versus Philadelphia, that could end up deciding the division. And it's going to be a different team because Jalen Hurts is going to be under center, not Carson Wentz. So the next few games are really going to decide the quarterback situation in Philadelphia because Jalen Hurts doesn't play well the next few games. Maybe, last Sunday was just a fluke. What are they going to do? They don't have a lot of cap space. They don't have a draft capital and all that. What are they going to do? So next few weeks are going to be big for Jalen Hurts and the quarterback situation in Philadelphia, but they absolutely have a chance to win the division. I hope they don't, but they do have a shot.
Okay, Keith, so do you think the next game they're playing, the Cardinals, Kyler Murray had a sketchy game this weekend, if I could say the least. I thought they could have played a lot better during the first half, but do you think the way that Hurts played with this Eagles upcoming rising defense, they could win against Arizona?
They could. I think where I put caution on Jalen Hurts is I think Jalen Hurts is a fantastic player, but I think there's way too much weight being put into the one win he had against the Saints. They could have just had a perfect game plan, which it looks like they did. I don't think they're going to lose against the Cardinals. I don't think they're going to lose against the Cowboys, but it's not impossible that they'll lose to either of those teams. So they really have no choice but to keep Carson Wentz for at least one more season. They can't move him. This contract is too massive. No one's going to want to touch him after the 800 turnovers he's had this year. And the other reason they can't move him is they still don't know for sure what they have in Jalen Hurts. He looked good in one game. He showed promise, but how does he look in a full training camp in a full season? They don't know that. So not only would it be stupid to get rid of Carson Wentz, not knowing those factors, they can't move him because his contract is too massive.
I mean, overall, we can all agree that putting Wentz back in doesn't feel like the right decision, right? I just think that Hurts is able to move. He's able to get the ball out quickly. And those are two of the top things that you are looking for in a quarterback to win the division. Now, put it in quotes because I'm not going to expect that from them at this moment. But, yeah. Let's talk about the big
I think it seems as simple as that, but you have to remember Carson Wentz was supposed to be the next big thing before he wasn't. So Jalen Hurts inherits the same issues that Carson Wentz has. Terrible offensive line, no wide receivers. So he may have looked good in one game doing that, but Carson Wentz looked good for a whole season before he got hurt doing that when he won a Super Bowl. So
I say he would have won MVP that year if he didn't tear his ACL. So sometimes they may look at the ceiling and say, well, maybe this was just a fluke season by Wentz. You never know.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to disagree simply because I think the momentum that you carry once you win a game like that, I think that's what leads you to give your team some energy for the remaining games of the season. That's just my idea. It's all about that environment that you've built. And obviously Hurts walking around with his tongue out, which everybody's seen everywhere, celebrating that win is going to just drive the Eagles to fight for the rest of the last three games. But that's just my perspective. So for the big board, let's hit everybody's, top 10 teams of the week because that's what's led us to these fun table talks. Right now, I think the only team that we are all, varied on is the 10th spot, which makes the most sense, right? I've got Seattle. Ryan's got the Browns. Joe had the Ravens, and then Keith's got Seattle too. So based off of all of our big boards, I think the top five remain the same, right? We know who the top five strongest teams are right now, even though some performances this week weren't that great. Do we all agree?
Yeah, I couldn't believe Ashburn didn't have the Ravens in the top 10. I was like, wow, really? After what you saw last night, still not impressed?
I know. I was over there live tweeting like I've never seen Twitter in my life about how Lamar was playing and the rumor about him leaving the field. Do you guys really think he had cramps? I need to know.
No, he was dropping the deuce.
That's a bad burrito if I've ever seen one.
We've all seen that trot. He was dropping the deuce.
Dude, the way he waddled, like the clip that they kept replaying was like, why did you guys show us that? We all know he's lying.
The way he waved that guy out the doorway, that's not the way you wave somebody out the doorway when you're cramp. Get out my way or something bad's about to happen.
He just shoved him in like, dude, this isn't a game. Okay, so my other question, last two we've got. Do you guys believe in the Bills? Ryan?
Yes, and I do think, not that I think they will, but if somebody told me they did, I wouldn't be totally shocked. I think they're the one team in the AFC that could beat the Chiefs just because I look at their offense. It can be explosive at times. And this team, it's going to thrive or die with Josh Allen. If we look at Allen's first 2 years, it wasn't that great. His accuracy was all over the place, but his running ability, kept him in some games. But now I don't know what happened, but his throwing, it's crazy now. So, everything's kind of come together. But he has had some games where he looks like the old Josh Allen, and they haven't played well as a unit in those games, and they've lost. So if he plays like I think he can, I do think they can even have a shot at beating the Chiefs because we know their defense is good. And like I said, if their offense, it's explosive, and if they're hitting on all cylinders, I think like I said, I don't think they would, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, I'm going to say that's a very far stretch, but we can roll with that. Joe, what about you? Do you believe in the Bills?
Oh, I have a nice seat in the back row of the Bills bandwagon. I slid off my Cleveland Browns bandwagon around the middle of the third quarter yesterday. Found a nice, cozy seat on the Bills bandwagon.
Trading in the orange for the red.
I agree with Ryan. I think that Buffalo's offense can put up points with Kansas City because remember, Kansas City has elite players on defense. Look at Honey Badger, Chris Jones. But their defense is not elite as a whole complete unit. They just have elite players. I think that the Buffalo Bills, when need be, that defense can be really, really good and shut teams down. I mean, no disrespect to the Raiders, but if the Raiders can go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs and beat them with that offense, the Buffalo Bills with Stephon Diggs, who was toying with the Pittsburgh Steelers the other night, I think Buffalo's a team to be reckoned with.
All right, Keith, wrap us up here.
I believe in them in the future. I think they are a good team now. On paper, they probably are the best team that could beat the Chiefs. But the reason why the Raiders beat the Chiefs is because they had Josh Jacobs. And Buffalo does not have someone like Josh Jacobs. I think they're a premier running back short of being an elite team in the league. Their defense is good. Allen and Diggs have been amazing. Cole Beasley has done stuff he did back when he was in Dallas when he made his name. They are a really good team. The problem is I don't think anyone's going to beat the Chiefs this year. That's just a fact of reality. The Chiefs' offense is just way too explosive. We talk about teams playing complementary football with their offense. Well, the Chiefs play complementary football with their defense. Defense is not amazing. They're not going to be in any all-time great ranks, but they make plays when they need to, and they can afford to be aggressive because they know 9 times out of 10 Mahomes is going to cover them if they make a mistake.
Well, for the remainder of the Bills season, they've got Broncos, Patriots, and Dolphins, and I believe they could win all three, no doubt about it. The Dolphins could put up a fight as they did this weekend against the Chiefs, but I think that just proves that Buffalo is dominating the AFC East. I don't know. Just my...
It's about damn time. I'm tired of the Patriots in the AFC East.
Golly.
Yeah. Different type of red and blue out there instead of the same one we've been seeing for the last 10 years. So finally, I want to know, what was your guys' favorite game? Don't say last night's. Pick your second favorite game.
Ooh.
Think about that one.
All right, I know.
Okay, hit it. It's
going to sound like a weird one, but I think my favorite game to see was the Chiefs and the Dolphins. For the simple fact that at one point in the game, the Chiefs had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, which you never see
Totally.
from Patrick Mahomes, and they were still up 20. So even in one of the worst turnover games of Patrick Mahomes' careers, they were still beating the team by 20, who has a pretty good defense. And that really just set the reality in my mind that I don't care how good the defense is, that offense is not stoppable. There's nothing you can do about that offense. You have to hope that Patrick Mahomes has another bad game like he did, and then hope that the defense doesn't play complimentary and save Patrick Mahomes like they did against the Dolphins. It's just a tall task to beat that team. I don't know if anyone can do it besides the Raiders at one time.
That's what led us to this table talk anyway, was the competition between strong offenses and strong defenses. But Ryan, what was your favorite game of the weekend?
My favorite was the Steelers and Bills because it justified what I thought the Steelers were this entire season. A good team, not a great team. And everyone, they were 11-0 and they were putting them at the best team in the league. There, some people would have them better than the Chiefs, which, record-wise was, obviously. But if you look at the Steelers as a whole, yes, they have a great defense, but also you're seeing the injuries build up. Devin Bush went down earlier, and then Bud Dupree a couple weeks ago. And when they played Washington, a couple, corner and their linebacker went down. Mm-hmm. And so, they're a couple injury away from being going from an elite defense just to a good defense. And if you look at the Steelers offense, I'm not impressed. I've said for the last 3 weeks now, I said the Steelers look like the exact same as the 2019 Patriots. Good defense, and they don't do anything well on offense. Great. And eventually that's going to catch up to you.
Okay. And Joe?
I picked the strange one just because I wanted to see them finally win a game, and that was the Chargers beating the Falcons. The Chargers have any way you can lose a football game, the Chargers have lost that game.
Totally.
That way. I mean, you had their clock management before the end of the half, which made no sense at all. The players not knowing what they're supposed to do, field goal, no field goal. People are talking about Anthony Lynn potentially losing his job after this season. The reason being because his team has lost a game every which way you can lose a game. So to finally just see those guys not screw it up and get a W, that was my game. If I can't pick last night, I'd go with that one.
I was going to follow up and say, do you think Anthony's coaching job is secure right now?
I do not.
Okay.
No. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the Chargers have so many key pieces in their offense. Like, they should not be losing this badly. And the way Herbert can sling the ball down the field, I'm obviously biased since I'm a Duck fan, but that's what I believe for sure. Even though they're going to play the Raiders on Thursday, and I actually don't want to talk about it because I know the Raiders aren't going to win, but my Raider family friends are going to totally hate on that. So let's just wrap up this roundtable talk. I want to thank you guys for joining. Joe, Ryan, Keith, it's been fun. And tomorrow we've got No Huddle Necessary, so don't forget to check that out. But yeah, that's it for Moving the Chains. Been fun for a football week 14. Week 15 is just going to keep getting more exciting. We've got Saturday football. What game are you guys looking forward to the most this weekend? Joe?
I want to cop out and say all of them because they all matter. I mean, there's so much, but it's so close. Besides, unless you're a Jets fan or a Lions fan, your team has a possibility to still make some noise. So they're all exciting games. I'm going to go all of them.
All right, Ryan, you have to pick one. You can't use the same answer.
Well, I got to go Washington then because it's really going to be a good measuring stick how well they're going to play against Seattle, which is a very good team, the NFC. So we'll see if they can get it done or not.
Don't let Russ cook.
Sorry, go ahead. Keith, go ahead. Wrap it up.
I got to go with the Eagles just because Jalen Hurts played so well against the Saints. If he comes out and lays an egg against the Cardinals, then the Eagles are really in a position of, well, do we go back to Carson Wentz or do we let Jalen Hurts go back? I mean, because one guy they're playing $120 million. So you don't necessarily want him to get hurt, but you don't want your potential future franchise quarterback get hurt either. So they really hope that he plays well, and if he doesn't, then they're screwed.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Washington game because I cannot stand Seattle. Cannot stand them. So I'm hoping Washington just dominates. I love Russell Wilson as a human being, but it's kind of like the LeBron situation. Like, can't stand any team LeBron's a part of, but the guy's a great guy. So hope you guys pull through a win for Washington. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great evening, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.